This episode of Eminence Legacy podcast is brought to you by FE26 Legion, built for disciplined, not the distracted. Every FE26 design is released for a limited season and then retired into the vault. No restocks, no reruns. If you're wearing FE26, it's not because you followed a trend, it's because you live by a standard. Find the current season at fe26legion.com. Discipline remains, the Legion endures. People think clarity feels like relief, like peace, like confidence, like finally knowing what to do. But that is not how it arrives. Clarity usually shows up as fear, a tightening in your chest, a quiet awareness you cannot ignore, a truth that does not feel dangerous, but feels final. Because once you see clearly, you cannot pretend anymore. Welcome back to the Eminence Legacy podcast. I'm Jose Luis Cadena, and today we are talking about something most people misunderstand. Why clarity feels scary before it even feels free. Here's a mistake people make. They think fear means they are not ready. So when clarity shows up, real clarity, and it does not feel empowering, they retreat, they run away, they assume something is wrong. But clarity does not show you what is possible first. It shows you what is no longer acceptable. That is the fear, not of the future, but of losing the ability to stay where you are. Clarity ends negotiation. Before clarity, you can bargain. You could say things like, maybe later. I need more time. This season is complicated. Clarity removes that comfort. It draws a line. And once the line is drawn, indecision stops feeling comfortable. It starts feeling like dishonesty. That's why clarity feels threatening. It demands integrity. Point number 2, fear is not a warning. It's a threshold. Most people treat fear like it's a stop sign. But in moments of clarity, fear is usually a threshold, not a danger. It's a nervous system reacting to identity change, because clarity does not just ask you to act. It asks you to become someone new. And the old version of you does not get a vote. Clarity exposes attachment. Here's the hard truth. What scares you about clarity is not the work. It is what you will have to let go of. A version of success that no longer fits, a relationship that can't follow you, an identity built around staying busy, not aligned, an excuse you have been using to feel safe. See, clarity is a cost, not because it demands effort, but because it demands release. It demands you to make those changes. It forces you to be uncomfortable. There is a moment many people experience but don't talk about it. They finally know what they need to do, not vaguely, not theoretically, but clearly. They could see it. The writing is on the wall, and instead of excitement, they feel fear. Because now they see what's been draining them, what's been misaligned, what has been tolerated too long. And the hardest part, they realize they have known it for a while. Clarity didn't just arrive, it surfaced. That's when people stay stalled, not because they don't know, the next step, but because they don't want to grieve the life they're about to lose or outgrow. Here's how you work with clarity. Instead of running from it, ask yourself, what truth feels heavy because it asks me to change? That heaviness is not a warning, it's a confirmation. Ask the second question. What would happen if I honored clarity before I felt brave? Clarity does not need confidence, it needs obedience. Freedom does not come when fear disappears. It comes when fear stops being in charge. If this episode feels close to home, don't dismiss that. Sit with it. Re-listen to it. Fear before clarity is not failure. It's transition. And transition always feels unstable right before it becomes solid ground. Now, let's anchor this. Clarity feels scary because it ends negotiations. Fear is often a threshold, not a warning. And freedom follows clarity, not the other way around. If this episode challenged you, don't let it fade into reflection. Make sure to follow the Eminence Legacy podcast on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you are streaming this episode. If you are on Apple, leave us a 5-star review. It helps us reach people standing at the edge of the change. Share this episode with someone who you know what they need to do, but has not moved yet. Next week, we'll talk about identifying shifts, why growth often feels lonely, and why transitioning isolates you, and how to move forward without losing yourself. This is the Eminence Legacy Podcast. Together, let's rise to our eminence. Catch you in the next one.